The Truth Hearts, Part 8, a Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction, written and narrated by Eleanor Rose. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the other 7 parts of this series. And, if you enjoy it, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on the latest parts of your favorite fanfiction, and leave a comment down below in support. 2 days after Marinette broke Adrien's trust, he found himself sitting in front of her, waiting for her to notice the note he slipped under her binder. He stayed up through the night to scour through the haiku book and picked out the perfect set of verses to use, and he thought he found it. But would she put 2 and 2 together? You seem unaware of how long I've searched for you. When will you see me? Huh. Adrien froze as he heard Marinette react to the poem. It didn't seem like she got it, but maybe a few more would push her along the way. He had another half-dozen sitting in reserve. Hey, LB, what you got there? He heard Alia slide into her seat and turned around, ready to greet them. He watched as Marinette gave her arm a light punch and hushed her. It's nothing. Adrien saw her crumple up the paper before continuing. Did you get the math assignment done? I'm guessing you didn't, little Miss Superhero. You know how it goes. Not always. You don't always invite me to your shindigs, remember? Oops. So wait. If you know all of our identities, then who's Cat Noir? Alia asked. Adrien's heart dropped to his stomach as Marinette made eye contact with him. I won't answer that, she said. Wait, are you the one who gave him the miraculous? Nino asked. Adrien hadn't realized he'd come in yet. No, it was Master Fu. Have you at least met his Kwame? Guys, class is starting, Marinette exclaimed, opening her binder to grab some paper. He noticed how she slipped the now crumpled note into her purse. The purse with her Kwame in it, no doubt. Class ticked on, but Adrien wasn't focused on that. The Kwame. Why hadn't he thought of it before? He could talk about this with... what was it called? Tikai? But how could he take it without causing a ruckus? Hey, miss, he said, raising his hand. I left something in my locker. Do you mind if I run to go get it? As his teacher opened her mouth, Adrien heard a quake from outside. It was an Akuma victim. He heard Marinette take a sharp breath behind him before the school bell rang, signaling a lockdown. How had he not seen her slip away before now? Was it because he was never in his designated spot during Akuma lockdowns? Minutes later, he was on a rooftop a few blocks away, observing the scene. It looked like the victim got into a quarrel with his mother before getting akumatized, and was now muting anyone who spoke against him. How should he proceed? Ladybug landed next to him, keeping low to the rooftop. We don't want this one to notice us yet. Any ideas, m'lady? The nickname stung his tongue. He was still hurt about what happened in more ways than he thought. I can't tell where the Akuma is yet, Ladybug said. Any idea what happened to him? From what I gather, the kid wanted to hang out with some friends, and his mom said no. Huh. What? That sounds like something that could happen to a friend of mine. Was she referring to him? As Adrien? Oh, really? I'm surprised he hasn't been akumatized yet, to be honest. They were interrupted by a roller coaster springing up in the middle of the street. Ah, that was it. The kid must have wanted to go to Disneyland with his friends. I'm on it, he said, moving before Ladybug could open her mouth. They'd worked together long enough that they didn't need to spell everything out for the other. It took about 10 minutes to clear the area, including helping out the people who got trapped in the roller coaster from nowhere. Despite the tension between them, Ladybug and Cat Noir made a good team. With a well-timed cataclysm and Ladybug's good luck, they saved Paris and yet another victim. "Headed out so soon?" she asked as he stepped away. "What's it to you?" The edge in his voice caught her off guard. "I'm just not used to you leaving first, is all." "Well, it's not as though we don't know who we are in our personal lives, so..." He was testing a theory, but wasn't sure if it'd pan out. If anything, he was gambling his identity. Ladybug froze, clearly caught off guard. "What?" she whispered. He was almost as stunned as she was. After her glance at him in the classroom, he would have thought she knew Cat Noir was him, Adrien Agreste. "Don't play games, Marinette. There are always consequences. I just wish you told your partner first instead of classmates with loose mouths." Cat didn't mean to say that, but the anger from being second in her life pushed it to the tip of his tongue. Words can cut, and his were sharp. "Who?" Ladybug began. 17 syllables are more than enough." Her expression darkened. "Those notes were yours?" "Happy to see you're finally paying attention to me, my lady." His tone was darker than intended and disgruntled at best. Ladybug remained quiet, stepping back as her earrings beeped before turning and zipping off. Cat Noir took an extra moment to look at her before retreating as well, realizing they were headed off to the same place. She was a smart girl. Surely she's put together that he, Adrien, was her partner, and then he'd be in trouble. He was so embarrassed by his actions, he didn't know what to do with himself. And yet he wouldn't apologize. He refused to. It was more likely than not his pride, but the roaring turmoil inside wouldn't allow him to let this go. She hurt him. Ladybug hurt him, her partner. Where had he gone wrong to the point that she told her classmates instead of him? It mattered. The truth, whatever it may be, would hurt him, but he wanted to hear it. If anything, Cat Noir deserved to hear the truth. He'd learned too much not to. Thank you so much for listening. Part 9 will be available tomorrow. In the meantime, you can check out these other videos for more fanfiction. And if you'd like to support the author, pick up a I'd Rather Be Reading Fanfiction t-shirt or sweater from Redbubble. There's a link to it in the description. I'll catch you next time.